All right, welcome back to WMMA Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with a fight review. So we're going to Las Vegas, Nevada for Dana White's Tuesday Night Contenders Series, week number 10. We're going to the Flyweight division. Chelsea Hackett coming in 3-0-1, taking on Victoria Leonardo 7-2. Now this is one of those weeks that was supposed to happen like way back in the summer, and then they pushed back all the way till November. I think the original scheduled date for Chelsea Hackett's fight was like back in May. But she got to fight this week. Now Leonardo, on the other hand, came in on about 2 weeks' notice after Hackett's, I think, third opponent change. Couldn't come to the U.S. from Canada. So they brought in Invicta Leonardo. So first round, Hackett led with kicks early. Showing some really hard kicks too, like some front kicks and to the body, and then throwing a lot of low kicks to the leg as well. Leonardo closed to the clinch and got an outside trip at about the 2-minute 40-second mark. Now Hackett ate some decent ground and pound in half guard, but she eventually was able to fight her way back up to her feet and got out of the clinch there. So Hackett again started doing better at range, but later on in the round, Leonardo did land a really nice high kick late on, and then the round ended during a pretty nice clinch battle. Now second round, Hackett again started to work the kicks early, but Leonardo, she had some more confidence in her striking this round after the first, so she started being able to counter over the top when Hackett kicked, because Hackett would go to that, I think it was the left kick all the time, so Leonardo started opening up more with the counter right over top. Now Leonardo forced a clinch, but Hackett was able to reverse it and then broke it. And she broke it with a really nice, clean, I think it was a right elbow. Now Hackett hurt Leonardo with a right hand and swarmed with punches at about the minute 30 mark. But Leonardo, her experience showing through here. She forced a clinch and just held on, started working some knees and some dirty boxing, and just kept holding on to Hackett and would not let go. Now, she eventually got a takedown at about the 3-minute 15-second mark, and shortly thereafter passed the full mount. From there, Leonardo just sat up, started throwing some punches, and I mean, she was throwing some hard punches too, but she was patient with it. Like, she wasn't trying to rush it. She sat back, she threw the punches, she looked for the openings, and just was landing some really hard punches. And eventually, the referee was forced to intervene because Hackett was eating too many hard punches. And so your winner was Victoria Leonardo via TKO due to grounded strikes, 4 minutes 41 seconds, of the second round. So, experience and the well-rounded game of Leonardo was what won the day here. Now, Hackett's striking, her striking is on point, but, she needs to work on the other aspects of her game. Now, congrats to Victoria Leonardo. She got the contract. Dana seemed hesitant with it, and honestly, the way he talked about Chelsea Hackett, I thought he did her dirty. He basically said she had zero ground game. Now, he was honest. Dana White's sometimes honest when actually assessing a fighter's ability, and he was honest. She really does need to work on her ground game, but I thought he did her dirty as well, because Dana has signed plenty of fighters who would get early finishes on the Contender Series, even though he knew nothing else about their game. Honestly, I think if Hackett had finished Leonardo when she had her hurt in a second, he probably would have signed her as well, even with knowing what he did about the ground game. Because that's just what he does. He signs finishers from this series. So while I thought he did her wrong, he was right, but still, in the wrong there. But congrats to Victoria Leonardo. He did sign her. Now, I do want to make note that Invicta pedigree is real. Leonardo has that pedigree. Has that experience, and she's faced a lot of different style of opponents. Hackett, coming from a smaller promotion like Eternal, didn't have, as many fights, didn't have, fight as well-rounded a game or a type of opponents as Leonardo has. So that Invicta pedigree is real. Now, I'll admit, I picked Hackett to win. Mostly I've mentioned because Leonardo is taking this fight on 2 weeks' notice. Hackett has been preparing for it pretty much all year. But like I said, the experience and the well-roundedness of Leonardo's game won the day. So I don't regret picking Hackett to win, even though I got it wrong. I'm very happy for Victoria Leonardo. She's a hard worker. Now, for things to work on, for Leonardo, she needs to work on her striking defense. Work on her head movement and work on her footwork. If she works on those two and combines them together, she'll definitely have a better striking defense because, you know, she tends to eat a lot excuse me, of hard strikes. You know, she got TKO'd by Blanchfield a couple fights back, and then, you know, she got hurt in the second round here. So if she works on her head movement particularly and combine it with some better footwork, she'll have a better striking defense. Now for Hackett, obviously needs to work on her ground game, but I'm going to get a little more specific with it. She needs to work on her anti-wrestling, and by that I mean takedown defense, sweeps and reversals, and her ability to get back up, whether it's in the center of the octagon or up against the cage. You know, she's got very nice striking. Like I said, it is on point, probably world-class, excuse me, Muay Thai. You don't have to always be a black belt in BJJ and a D1 wrestler if your striking is that good. What you do need, however, is strong anti-wrestling, anti-grappling game. One of the best, probably the best example of this in the women's divisions is Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Okay, does she have a world-class BJJ game? No. Is she a world-class wrestler? No. But is she world-class in takedown defense and getting back up from the ground? Definitely. That's what I mean by anti-wrestling. So if Hackett can work on that and get a really good, balanced anti-wrestling game down, she's going to be a serious threat in the future. And, you know, this is only her 5th professional fight, and she's only 22 years old. I still think she has a very bright future in spite of this loss. Now, as for fights to make, this is a bigger question here. You know, Hackett fights for Eternal, which is on Fight Pass, but I'm hoping that a U.S. promotion picks her up as well. Like maybe LFA. I think she'd be a good fit at LFA. I think Invicta could possibly build her up good as well. CFFC maybe. But hopefully she can get in with a U.S.-based promotion that can get her, you know, some opponents with different variety of skill sets. As for Leonardo, well, she's now in the UFC. You know, they could match her up with just about anybody on their roster. And she is a tough outing for just about everybody on there. So they could match her up with just about anyone. Okay, so those are my thoughts on this fight. I thought it was a pretty good one. You know, nice finish there for Victoria Leonardo, and she got the contract. Happy for her. Glad. You know, she seems like a nice lady. Good for her. Hackett, back to the drawing board. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the fight in the comments down below. If you liked the video, please give it a like. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to WMMA Scene Now, the most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.